Hi, welcome to Great Goodness. I'm so excited to be here today with my partner, Karen Stewart,
Hello.
and our guest, Bill Griffin. Bill,
Hey.
wave. And
Yay.
if you like what you see today and hear today, and I know that you will, be sure to like and comment and subscribe. We have so many amazing creatives coming on, and it just fills me up. It fills you up too, Karen. I can always,
I'm overflowing. Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
know.
so good.
It
It's all
is.
great goodness.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
all great goodness.
And so stay to the end for the creative prompt. And if you or someone you know is putting goodness into the world, reach out to us. Down below in the About Us section, you will see our contact information. Reach out, tell us we want to talk to you. We want to multiply the goodness. That's what we want to do. So I'll turn it over to Karen to share an oracle card.
Okay. All right. So tonight, from my stash of Oracle and tarot cards, I have pulled the Herbal Astrology
I knew you were going to do
Oracle
that.
deck.
Okay.
Yes. So in my in my heart, I suspect that Bill actually knows the name and something about every plant on Earth. He may just know something about every plant in the Northern Hemisphere. I don't know, or maybe
There's a
not.
lot
We'll
of
see.
plants.
Anyway, it's a lot of plants. No pressure. It's this isn't a quiz show. I love this deck though. This is published by Hay House. And it is the dream of the author of it is Adriana Ayales, and the artwork's by Josephine Clerks. And I absolutely love this deck. And it has beautiful illustrations of all sorts of herbal plants. And then it has astrological references and just beautiful artwork. So I've been shuffling the bejeebies out of these cards, and I'll just put the energy out like this is the energy, whatever this card brings to us. So this is what the backs of the cards look like.
Mhm.
Isn't that lovely?
It is. It reminds me of the world and the tarot, the world
Yes, it
card.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what all the backs of the cards look like. Oh, okay. And now I'm getting a little quick glance at this.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So the card that we are looking at today is card 55, Palo Santo.
Oh,
Can you see it?
yeah.
And
Uh,
our word is, I can't read it. It's backwards.
Guardian, Guardian.
Guardian. Okay, so that is something that we can just consider. And so Palo Santo.
Mm.
I love the artwork on this card. I'm going to get it a little bit closer so you guys can see it. I love all the smoke. So I know Palo Santo is a lovely thing that people smudge
Hmm.
when they're getting their woo on in their homes to kind of clear the space and be very wooey. I am prone to do that myself,
Hmm.
and it smells super good.
Yes, it does.
And I know that it has lots of lore surrounding it. And so I am loving the feel of just the smoke, and it just feels like mystery to me. And kind of like the smoke is clearing, which you don't really think about that with smoke usually, right? It's like, oh
Mhm.
gosh, it's smoke, but the smoke is that's like the essence of. So this feels to me like making
Mhm.
space, opening up.
And the two trees on the side feel like the guardians. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Like this space that like and I guess that's what it's doing. This space is now clean and protected. Because I don't know what you're supposed to do, but I always feel like I call my spirit guides in, like I call my that in and it feels like those trees are symbolizing that. Are those
Giving you a safe
fireflies?
space. I don't know. Let me take a close look. Oh, okay. Well, let me just narrate this a little bit. It's a little bit hard to see. There is a very sage looking elder type of face person looking very peaceful in the smoke. And there is I believe it may be a fox or a wolf or a coyote that is lying next to the burning Palo Santo. who has a star coming out of his forehead, and the smoke is also coming from the star. So and there are little stars and sparkles in the smoke and all kinds of symbols. So this is really a card that you can see a lot in, but you have to look really, really close.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see it? Am I helping
Oh,
you?
and you know what that is up at the top?
No,
That's
I
the
bet you know.
I
It's some
do.
astrology thing.
Yep, it's the South Node. And so the South Node is where you have been. Like if you it's either if you don't believe in like karma or past lives, like you only believe in this life, then it is where you feel comfortable. So it shows up in your chart and the
Mm.
house or the sign where you feel comfortable. That doesn't always mean a good thing, but it is the
So,
place you're comfortable in, you know. A lot of times it is good, but
so that's
um
what's coming out of this
mhm,
smoke in this card
yeah.
is that comfort zone.
Yeah, and if you do believe in other lives, then it's speaking to other lives that you have lived, and it sits opposite the North Node, which is what you're here to do. So anyway, astrology lesson. Bill, do you have anything you want to share?
Well, the trees look to me like outstretched hands, like they're lifting an offering
An
this,
offering,
Yeah.
right?
like a gift
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah,
the participant.
Mm-hmm.
I love that so much. Okay,
Yeah.
y'all. It's viewers. You just have your own way with this card. Whatever it brings to you. Ah, Palo
Okay.
Santo.
Ready? This is
Yes.
the first bio I've read. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I always say the little tidbit. But Karen twisted my arm to get this tidbit. She said, "I know Bill." And so, Bill Griffin is a poet, blogger, and essayist who leans toward themes of ecology, community, and the search for meaning. That's really beautiful.
mm,
He
true.
lives in the North Carolina foothills. Since retiring after 40 years as a small town family doctor, he has become a full-time naturalist. He guides nature hikes, maintains a section of the Mountains to Sea Trail, and has completed over 30 annual USGS Breeding Bird Surveys. Bill's poetry has appeared over the years in more than 80 regional and national journals, and he has published 7 collections, including Snake Den Ridge, a bestiary, March Street Press, 2008, an eco poetry collection illustrated by Linda French Griffin. His latest chapbook from 2023 is How We All Fly from Orchard Street Press. He was selected to participate in the inaugural Tremont Writers Conference in the Smoky Mountains in 2023, and in 2012 he was poet in residence at the North Carolina Zoo for the Poetry of Conservation Project, which I'm so interested in. Bill has served on the board of the North Carolina Poetry Society for donkey's years.
I love that. Donkey's years. Oh my goodness.
Ah, I did not write that about Bill. Bill wrote that about Bill.
I love donkey's years. Well, I want to add some randomness to what Angie just shared about Bill. And first, let me tell you, well, Bill knows this, but Bill is one of my dearest, most cherished friends. I love you so much, Bill. And I just have to tell you a couple things that Bill probably wasn't going to mention. One is Bill is so generous of spirit and he just does amazing things and shares it with people. One of the things he does, and I don't think he talks about this too much, this is last year's version. This is his poetry journal submissions calendar that he makes every year. He knows about all of these journals. He makes this up. It's a very complex grid that's actually really easy to use. And he just emails it to everybody because he's that kind. And he's mailing it to his competition in other
Mhm.
poets will be he's like, hey, this is his secret sauce that he's sharing with everybody,
Yeah.
right? How generous is that? Like a lot of people would be like, oh, I've got a whole list of 20 really
Hmm.
good journals. I ain't telling nobody about them. But no, Bill puts it on a thing and makes it available to everybody. So just so you know, this is who we're dealing with. The other thing that you have to, I'm just going to read you what Bill provided us to say about this, and then I'm going to elaborate on it. Bill posts weekly to his blog, Verse and Image, where he features Southern poets, micro essays, and nature photography at griffinpoetry.com. The month of April is dedicated to Poems for the Earth, with more numerous posts and an invitation for readers to submit a favorite nature poem. And that is all true. Um, and that is like the smallest, tiniest little description of what Bill does on that blog that anybody could have possibly written. It is the biggest treat. He does it. Bill, you do it every week, correct? And how many years have
Yep.
you been doing this?
Well, I've done it every week since I retired 5 years ago. Before that, it
Mm.
was like hit and miss.
It was hit and miss, but always a hit. Um,
Well, I
a
guess so.
huge hit.
So
You can subscribe to it. It comes to your inbox, and you can go visit it. And it's not when you say, oh, it's a blog. It is not a blog. I mean, maybe it's a blog. It is a gift to fill you up. And Bill selects poems from amazing poets, and there'll be different poets. There's this amazing thread running between them. The He shares his nature photographs on there that will just make your heart sing. And you didn't even mention this in here. And then tying that in there, it's like you have like micro essays about just the wonder of a wonder. It's just wonder filled and so beautiful. And every time I go, I'm so moved by the poetry, the images,
Mm.
your thoughtfulness, the backstory. You cannot imagine what a treat it is to visit that. And I don't care what's going on in your life. You just go to this blog that's not a blog. It's a gift. Go to the gift and it will fill you up. And you've got all the ones you've done in the past. You can look for poets. It is such an offering to the universe, Bill. I just have to thank you. I don't think I thank you enough. Thank you for doing that. It is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So that I just want y'all to know, go there. It's Verse and Image. Griffinpoetry.com will get you there, and it is a treat. And I was going to say some other things, but I basically ended up just writing down a bunch of adjectives y'all need to know about Bill, and then I'm going to stop talking. So I'm just going to race through these. Brilliant, truthful, impressively articulate, kind,
Mm.
caring, compassionate, smart, ethical, curious. He's so curious.
Mm.
Enthusiastic, so creative, a brilliant poet, photographer, and wordsmith. Bill is an artist and a lover and champion of nature.
Mm.
So supportive, so encouraging, wickedly funny, and truly one of my most favorite humans ever, and a very cherished friend. And I just love him. And I just have to tell a short story about him. Bill, I don't know if you remember when we were first getting to know each other. We were at a poetry society gathering, and I got there early. You were there early, and my young son in elementary school, who did not want to be spending the day with a bunch of poets, came with me. Bill
I
introduced
remember that.
himself. You
That was
do?
like my
He
second
introduced
poetry
himself, and
room. Yeah.
yeah, Bill was like, could I appoint you as a volunteer greeter? And let my son help welcome people there, and it made such a difference to him. It's like he was important. It was like this stranger he'd never met before, and that's how Bill is.
Mm.
Bill just he I don't think you meet a stranger. He just is generous of heart and does all the right things. um he will speak out when other people don't. He stands up for what's right. And he'll encourage you to bring a flashlight and follow him into the woods. And he'll show you that the lawn and the shrubs are full at night of tiny,
Mm.
sparkly diamonds that are the eyes of hundreds of spiders.
Mm.
And you would have never known about that if Bill hadn't shown you that. And he will lead you into the woods and on the trails and maybe a little bit off of the trails, but you will get back out, and he will have told you the name of every tree and every animal print and
Mm.
things you never even thought to wonder about while you were in the woods. And that is Bill Griffin. And I love you so much.
Golly.
Mm.
And y'all are so lucky that you're getting to meet Bill tonight.
I don't think I can follow that. Gee whiz. I'm at least glad you said funny.
Wickedly funny.
Oh,
Wickedly funny,
that's
wickedly funny.
Mhm.
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Well, maybe I'll tell a really funny story about an interaction we had if we get time for it later. But
Mhm.
It's all good.
thanks both of you.
Mhm.
This is a really exciting project because the world needs a lot more goodness,
Mhm.
and
Right.
I think it's way easier to imagine that there is no goodness in the world when you turn on your radio or your podcast or your TV. It's and yet, but when you turn them back off and see the faces of your friends in person or on Zoom or wherever,
Mhm.
you suddenly realize, wait, that goodness is still here. And I really appreciate you all
Mm.
accentuating that and bring it to the
Mhm.
fore because we need to support each other um, as a community. We're all human beings together in this.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
so I would like to read a poem. That sound cool? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Okay. Um, and I'm gonna share that photo I showed you earlier to go
Okay.
along with the poem.
Yes.
The name of the poem is Fireweed, which is a common
Mm.
North Carolina weed, grows out in the disturbed areas in the fields. But this particular poem grew from an afternoon of uh, taking a bunch of fourth graders out for a nature walk, and nothing is more fun than a bunch of fourth graders uh, unleashed. They were
Right.
great.
In the wild.
Yes, we were out there, and fireweed is one of the things that I showed them. So I'll I'll share the picture while I'm reading it if that sounds good.
That sounds
That
great.
is great.
Okay, that should be coming up on your screen in a second.
There.
Yes.
So fireweed, and it has an epigraph from the Gospel of Matthew.
Mm.
The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. Fireweed. He flinches when it dusts his cheek, but all wing, no sting, and this puff, this tuft, feather and down, pixie, fairy light as breath or memory, suspended hope. He spots its upright maker, pulls ahead, lets the children pluck and blow an armada into the airy currents. Flotilla, scintilla, they whoop in joyful chase of what too quickly flies beyond their reach. Aster family, moon disk inflorescence with no sun's rays, opportunist, weed, expecting, even desiring to be dispersed. Now the man catches one to show the kids its angel's eye of seed that anchors every lofted wisp. And which of them will find a faith so numinous that when flame eats the meadow of their youth, which ones rise again not to move it, but to be the mountain, straight stemmed, corim capped, set seed in season and release, ascend upon some fickle breeze higher, farther than he could ever imagine.
Mm.
Oh, oh, Bill.
So I wish for those kids that they would uh, rise on the wind like those
Oh,
fireweed seeds. And that
Mhm.
was a photograph of fireweed sending its seeds off into the world. So,
that is beautiful. Oh,
well,
mm.
so the naturalist thing is like one of my main occupations right now. And I started taking training courses even long time before I ever retired um, at Tremont Center in the Smokies. And their motto is connecting people with nature.
Perfect.
Perfect. So that's what they do. And originally went and took these courses thinking, well, I want to get connected to nature. Connect me to nature.
Hmm.
Let's do it. Um, but after finishing all the courses and getting certified, uh, it's like if you love something, you want to share it. You
Hmm.
can't keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
And so I actually finished my last course and got my little certificate from the University of Tennessee the day I retired.
Oh,
And
wow.
Oh, perfect.
right, right. And I thought, well, I've got to find a way to share this. And so I got involved with the Elkin Valley Trails Association, which is a really friendly group in our county that builds local trails and is involved with the rec center and the chamber of commerce and all that sort of thing. And I started building trails. And as you're out, getting muddy and digging and laughing with people, you start you sharing nature, and ended up by sharing um, naturalist hikes. And so now I'm doing guided naturalist hikes. And we just did one last Saturday. We're doing a series this spring to watch the progression of wildflowers opening in our
Oh,
native woods out
Oh,
here.
wow.
that's
And
so exciting.
well, there's one more. April 26th is number 4 in the series.
So who is showing up for
Hmm.
this?
Well, that's really a cool thing too. So when it's cold and wet and rainy, it's usually just the people I know that I've been on the trail with, and they come
Right.
anyway. But if it's a nice day, but no, seriously, this last Saturday we had 20 people to show up. You
Wow.
can sign up by going to meetup.com or going to elkinvalleytrails.org, and it has the schedule. And so Elkin is up in the northwest part of the state, northwest of Winston-Salem. We're only about 25 miles from the Virginia line, and
Hmm.
we get people coming from Charlotte,
Oh, wow.
Burlington. We had somebody down here from Boone.
Mm.
People will come down from Galex, Virginia, and then a
Hmm.
lot of local people. So we had 20 people. Half of them had never taken a nature hike before. One of them was a
What?
young woman from just across the way who'd never taken a walk in the woods before at all.
Oh, Bill.
So it's
Oh.
awesome. And then
Oh,
sometimes we get
that's
some
so
kids going.
huge.
So it's really fun. And so I start every one of them by saying, "Welcome, you fellow naturalists. You are the naturalists today." So that's
Hmm.
my spiel, and I tell them what their job is. So if you're a naturalist, here's what it takes. There's 4 things. When you're outdoors, you are the naturalist. You need to do 4 things. You need to pay attention, ask questions, make connections, and share.
Mm.
And so we become a little unit, of
Hmm.
everybody seeing things and hearing things and sharing and asking, um, and that's how it works. And
Oh, Bill, that is such magic.
yeah,
That
well, come
is,
on down. Uh,
I don't tease me. I'm good. Okay, so y'all, Bill did something. He did the poet version of that for the Poetry Society at the when we were up in Asheville last
oh,
year.
right, at the Arboretum, right.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
Bill does so much he wasn't even, he's like, oh yeah, that thing, that huge thing I did. Um,
Mm.
it was amazing. It was amazing. He took a bunch of poets out around we had had a day-long poetry event inside, and then we got to go outside with Bill. And Garrett Sharp chimed in too, who is another late
Right.
nature, knowledgeable
Biologist, yeah.
nature. Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw the
Um,
yellow stuff and the purple stuff.
yeah,
Remember?
so lots of yellow stuff, purple stuff, some green stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And it was, oh my gosh, it was just, and we didn't even walk that far. It was so much information and just pure joy.
Yeah, it was like just kind of a brief intro to
Oh,
going out and observing, but we were paying attention, making connections, asking
Hmm.
questions, sharing.
yeah,
So every,
It,
everybody became instant naturalist in that moment.
yeah.
it sounds like it really fills your heart up. Like I'm sure no matter how many people are there, but it must have really filled your heart to see 20 people there. Like that must have just multiplied how you felt that day to be able to share that with that many people.
Oh yeah, and have everybody just really enthusiastic
Hmm.
and all different levels. Like there was one woman who was trying to um, make an inventory of her acreage, and so she knew everything already, and she would say, "Oh,
Ah,
look at that, look at that." So we were sharing that way, and then there were
Hmm.
people who really just hadn't been out walking, trying to identify plants or listening to the birds at all, and so everyone was there at their own level of
what
Yeah.
desire.
what a gift
Um,
that is to give somebody the joy of being in nature. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
well,
And
it's also a very big community
mm-hmm.
builder. And part of the mission of the Elkin Valley Trails, too, is to build community, not just to put a trail out there so people can walk on it, but to get
Right.
people doing things together in town and get people knowing each other. And so I've met so many people out mucking ditches and hammering bridges and things like that that I never would have met before.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's really what it's all about.
So community is
Right.
core to like your personal mission. It sounds like you take that seriously, building community. Is that, I mean, does that come into everything that you do? Like, and why is it?
Well, back to that motto, connect people with nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really feel like uh, I didn't know that I was going to be the one sharing it when I started taking those courses. I thought they were going to
Right.
be sharing it with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But um, the more I see of what's happening in the world and how disconnected we are with the natural world, to even imagine that we are not part of the natural world. So to be a naturalist, you don't have to go out into some pristine virgin forest. I love finding the weeds in my yard and things growing up through the cracks in the walk. And
Yeah.
I did a thing with the middle school last year where we just went out on their grounds for an hour, and I had kids
Mm-hmm.
picking the different weeds, and we came in and we drew pictures of them and learned how they connected and so anywhere you are in the world, and we've
Yeah.
become so disconnected from each other and from the world. You name it, why that is, but to reconnect, it helps to have that a little bit of dirt beneath your feet, and then you can
Well,
start finding yourself and finding your place in the world. And then you can't, it's a lot harder to let hatred grow when you're
mm-hmm.
feeling connected with your neighbors.
Yeah, you can't, right. Yes, the connection with people and with nature, you can't ignore how awesome it is. Once you get out there and you're in nature, it's like I don't care what kind of day you've been having or what kind of week or what kind of life you think you have, if you get out and just breathe and look at the miracle that is this planet and being on this planet, I mean, that changes people. It's really big.
Yeah,
What
thanks. Yeah.
what's your so you do a lot of different things. I mean, you write in different forms, um, and you're a photographer, and you're a naturalist, and so you're connecting and sharing in a lot of different ways. Do you like? Do you have a favorite one?
Favorite way?
Hmm.
Yes.
Well, gosh. Uh,
Well, Bill, you have
that's hard
music
to say.
too. Are you aren't Bill's very you're music oriented also. Don't
Yeah, I
are you
sing
still
in a
doing the
semi-professional
choir?
choral group, right? As a matter of fact, we just sang a big cantata in Raleigh last weekend. Never
Okay.
Okay.
done anything
Yeah.
quite that big before.
Oh
But
wow.
I guess I would have to say if it was just for me, I would want my poetry to be as as rich and expressive and as meaningful as I could make it. And so writing poetry is a very solitary act. You know,
Mhm.
uh,
I'm just going to hold up some of your books, Bill.
you know, maybe some people can write in coffee shops, but most of the time you're doing it
Mm-hmm.
on your own. And
Yeah.
um, but so that's something I do for me. But on the other hand, when I started thinking about what those four jobs of being a naturalist are, don't those sound like the job of being a poet? What does a poet do?
Mm-hmm.
They observe, pay
Pay
attention,
attention.
Yeah.
ask questions, make
Yep.
connections, and share.
Yep.
And so when I started this blog, I didn't really know what I was getting into. I just thought, well, I'll share a poem I like when I come across one that's great. But I would say at this point, my goal with the blog is to connect people to poetry, like you connect people
Yeah.
to nature,
Mm-hmm.
and so that people are reading more poetry and discovering that what you can, um, what the connections you can make by reading and
Yeah.
experiencing poetry. It's not a blog about writing poetry; it's a blog about reading poetry. And so,
Mm.
so, and in order to do that, I have to read a lot of poetry. And so, even if I can't write poetry, well, I
Darn.
can read it, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Right.
you know. So, so I'm doing that.
Well, Bill, your poetry is beautiful. And I did want to tell people that I think all of your books are still in print. Am I correct? Your books?
Not entirely, but I have copies of them if people want
Okay.
them.
So
I've got
there is
I've got them in my
information about
Mm-hmm.
I've got a big
your
box right
blog
under this
has
desk.
griffinpoetry.com has a tab where you can see all of Bill's books and get in touch with him about those if you want to. Yeah.
So your language um is it seems like it's really enriched by your naturalist interest. Is that true, or have you always had? I mean, you have quite the word bank. I mean, you use the word armada and just seamlessly in this poem, and I mean, so would it be in a
Looking
natural?
through my book. Um, well, so I feel like I'm a little bit of a nerd and geek about words and
Okay.
about science and about stuff. I just like to learn about
Hmm.
That's a
stuff.
good thing. That's a
And
good thing.
so I have my a favorite wildflower book, but I think it's over in my pack over there. And I like to just read the glossary. It's got the best glossary of any wildflower book.
You know, you know
And
the plant words are intent. They're
oh
great.
oh when you start learning a new science, 90% of your first year's work is the vocabulary.
Hmm.
And so when
Mm.
I started learning botany, it was like, what the? Um, and I try to unveil at least one geek word or nerd word on every nature hike, So
Hmm.
And I have to say, in your poems too, and that's something that I love, is there, it's rare that one of your poems doesn't have a word where I'm like, oh, what is that word?
Hmm.
And they're beautiful. And it's all, and then I'll like, I'm gonna geek out and look it up, or even just an unusual word. You are so wonderfully wordy. And
wordy.
not just your everyday words, y'all. It's like the ones you're like, I didn't know there was a word that with that many syllables. And then you look it up and it's like, oh, this is so cool. I love the nature words that you have in there that I don't know. And they're beautiful.
Well,
And the words
every
I do
word
know.
has a history, so
Yeah.
there's a story behind every word. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't want you to think that all my poetry is botanical, but
Okay.
could I read another poem?
Yeah, I would love that.
Please.
And I do have
Yes.
a question just waiting for
Yes,
you.
yes,
Can I ask it? Let me ask this
yeah.
question. Okay, it's a personal question. So I
Oh,
often have people like because I love words and I do love plants and I love words. And so I'll write a poem and it has a word in it that people don't recognize. And sometimes I get a little grief about that. And like I have to look up your poems, which is fine. But I wondered, like, do you have any advice for when people are writing poems and they're introducing something that isn't commonly known? How much do we need to unveil? Is the sound of that word enough? Is including that word enough? Or do you feel like you need to be sure the reader knows what that thing is? Like what do
Well,
you
that's a really
do?
good question. And I think that part of poetry is mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that gets kind of like beat out of us when we're studying poetry in school and we have to analyze every line and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And so sometimes I'll read a poem and I just will not understand it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes there's still music in it or
Mm-hmm.
feeling that I can pick up on, even though I don't quite wouldn't be able to summarize that poem in 25 words or less.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you need to leave the mystery in there. You don't footnote poems. But on the other hand, I have had people suggest that you can add a little more context to maybe where people can understand what you're talking
Okay.
about without having to explain it. You know, don't tell, but show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a manuscript that's out there making the rounds and garnering rejections right now that is
Welcome to the party.
yes,
Yes.
right. And
Okay.
so and this is kind of like, well, if I don't write another book, this is going to be it, you know.
Mm.
And
Oh,
and so it has a lot of my nature poems in it. And I ended up putting a thing of notes at the end that explain, you know, what this plant is. And so if,
Mm.
you know, someone, if it ever turns into a book, you'll be able to turn to the end and see such and such lives with, you know,
I
and
think that's great. It's a level, right? You don't
right.
have, it's not required. You're not going to be quizzed on it, but it gives you that extra level if you're interested in that. And Bill,
Okay.
I love when
And
I
so
come
this,
across a word that I'm like, I know it's a plant word, and when I don't know it, because even if I don't know it, the music of that word in the poem is so satisfying. Like, really, what a gift that is that you actually are reading something and you encounter a word that you've never
right.
heard or that you don't know. I'm always
Mm.
just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Oh, right.
I'm in.
Here's my
Yeah.
dictionary, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Exactly. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm gonna enjoy the music and then I'm gonna go back and see what the word actually meant. But I think it's part of the art, right? It's like if you're an abstract painter, it doesn't have to look like an apple.
right.
It can just be very pleasant and wonderful and make you feel. And so, yeah, use all the words.
Mm-hmm.
All the
And so let me
words.
read this poem.
Mm-hmm.
And so this has some German words in it. You don't really know what they know,
Mm-hmm.
don't really need to know what they mean. But you do need to know that there's little snippets in this poem of the lyrics of a Talking Heads song called "And She Was."
Okay.
So, and
Sweet.
that's the title, and that's the title of the poem, "And She
Mm-hmm.
Was," with an epigraph by David Byrne, moving into the universe. And she was. I actually, my wife just gave me this poem. She just
Oh,
was saying stuff, and I said, "I'm going to write a poem about it."
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it came from. And she was. We laughed the first time you told me I should play this at your funeral, imagining the kids quizzical, Mom, talking heads, but also the laugh that deflects fear, that band aids the sting. Your funeral, so distant as to be impossible, even so inevitable, and mine. You just shake your head when I request the overture to Tannhäuser. But hey, recall our earliest connections, yours and mine, high school Deutsch and Herr Watt, his obsessional Wagner fetish. Share this, it's necessary, part of our allgemeine Bildung. Each memory another intersecting point that reinforces the web. Birth, drifting this way and that. Funeral. Aren't we always and ever moving into the universe that we create and which creates us? And you, love, are the one who connects, who
Mm-hmm.
notices the individual leaves and their green affirmation, who hears the highway breathing, deep earth hum. The world is moving, and you are right there with it. Connection, holding hands across the gulf. Last stop before we move out in all directions. And won't there be a hand that reaches back to comfort the kids, the same hand carries us forward, and we are.
Mm,
Oh,
mm,
Bill.
mm, mm.
Mm.
I love that. And you brought your wife into this, so I want to know, is Linda Griffin your wife?
Yes, yes, the artist who illustrated my book, right?
And yeah, and
Our
so
book, our book.
yes. How cool is like so y'all work together. I mean, talk about sharing and connecting and that y'all got to do that together. Can you talk a little bit about working with an artist, working with your wife? These are fantastic.
She is such a she does such beautiful work.
Yeah, they're amazing. So when I started writing these animal poems, these are all like persona poems by the animals in the Smokies who are telling their story. And it's an ecology book, but it's kind
I
of a
love it.
cautionary. So in the Middle Ages, the bestiary, the books of fantastic creatures, they were almost more popular than the Bible. And so Linda is a historian, and she wrote a preface for the book about how we need a new bestiary that takes us into the 21st century because we are connected and we better figure it out pretty quick. But anyway, we're working with her. This is the only time we've done a, a joint venture like this. She said, this is the most creative we've been since we made two children, you know. But and I presented some of the poems to her. I said, "What would you think about pictures for these?" She said, "I got too many other projects going on." But then I told her, "Well, I'm dedicating it to my best friend Mike Barnett, who I go hiking with, and one of the poems is going to be about him." And she said, "I'll do it for Mike." So he's the next to last poem in the book. Um, so it was great. She took the poetry and she had a stack of like field guides and manuals on her drawing table to because she put into each picture the plants that are described in the poems and and her picture the animal really reflects what it's saying in the poem. So she was amazing at how she interpreted the poetry. And if you notice, every picture
Mm-hmm.
has a circle,
Mm-hmm.
to obvious symbolism of
Mm-hmm.
infinity and connection. And within each circle is the Latin binomial of the animal that you're seeing there in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
But often the animal is flying out of the circle or extends beyond the circle, and the plants that are around it are the plants that it would be living with in the circle of its ecology. So yeah, she made the book into something really special.
Yes, she did. Well, y'all did together. Like, and I think that's so special that y'all did that with this book because that's what this book is about
Such a
is
beautiful book.
the necessity of all. So it took both of you for this book to carry its full meaning. Both
Mm-hmm.
of your gifts, you know. Aw, I love that picture. Um, So, um, did you want to share a poem from this book? Do you have one? Do you have the book sitting near you by any chance?
But actually, so uh, the Smokies Life Journal is reprinting a poem every month. I
Oh,
mean, every
nice.
twice a year.
Okay.
So they I gave a book to the director when I was at that writers conference a couple of years ago, and she contacted me later and said, we've been looking for something to put on the last page of our magazine every month, every 6 months. It comes out
Mm-hmm.
twice a year. And so this they've done snake, which is copperhead, and they've done bobcat, and the next one is going to be bear.
Mm,
So I'll read bobcat for you.
okay. That'd be
So
great.
here's the picture. You probably can't see it on my screen because I've got it blurred out.
Yeah, she'll hold
Oh,
it.
I've
Anyway,
got it up for you.
Karen's got
Yeah,
Bobcat there.
perfect.
So the book is set up with Raven being kind of the elder statesman who observes and comments on everything, but then each animal has their own commentary. So, Bobcat, I remain a wraith, a memory from the days when you were prey. Do you blame me if I choose to be invisible? Was it Cousin Panther's choice to be exiled from the ridge and extirpated? He's gone for good, and I choose to let you go on doubting my existence here. We family of cats, so pragmatic, always rather act than to be acted upon. I pad my path, removed from the abhorrence of your scent. I leave no scat along your silly trails. So if at midnight you bolt awake to the horror of my cry, if that wail shocks you like a tortured child devoured beneath a moonless sky on Madron Bald, then shiver in your bag and pray the long-toothed monster may pass far from you. I choose that you should do so.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh, so fabulous.
We're
You ever
to
heard
the
of Bobcat?
end. Yeah.
Bobcats, they are scary sounding. I've only heard them a couple of times, and you think something is getting torn apart out in the woods when you
Hmm.
hear one scream.
Mm.
I love getting to see bobcats. But okay, it's really time for us to go. But I've got a question for you. You're the perfect person to ask. So we have a bobcat that we catch on camera, but he's big. And when I've read the descriptions, the size is much smaller than what this guy is. I know it's a bobcat. I mean, do you know anything about their sizes or how they vary or
The one time I saw one, it amazed me how big it was running across a road in front of
okay.
a car.
Yeah,
They're
Okay.
we have
they're
one.
so fierce looking that it
Hmm.
maybe makes them seem bigger than they are. But yeah, they're a lot bigger than your
They're
house
yeah,
cat.
they're not
Yeah.
a house. They're definitely not a house. Yeah, we have one. We've only seen it through maybe three times in
Hmm.
10 years, but
Yeah.
it's here
I
somewhere.
love them. I just
Yeah,
love them.
it's amazing to think that they are still out there. That's great.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
people keep saying that they've seen a panther, a mountain lion
Mm.
here or there, but never have been able to prove that they still exist in
yeah,
North Carolina.
yeah.
Mm. Um, it's been amazing to have you, Bill. I
Oh,
really
Bill, such a
appreciate
delight.
you.
So delightful.
Thank you
Oh,
guys. This is so fun getting together.
And and it's been so great to hear about like all the things you connect and all the ways you connect. Even just sharing your poetry book with this a magazine, from the Smokies, who now is putting that poem on that back page, so more people get to read poetry. And I mean, it's just almost everything. I think everything you've said actually is about sharing
yeah,
and connecting. That's just really how you live, and we're so grateful for that. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
making
that.
time for us.
Well,
Um,
thank you for the goodness.
It's
yeah.
all great goodness. Lots of great goodness. Angie,
Um,
do you have a prompt for us? Angie's great. Angie conjures these creativity prompts
well,
up, and you never know what it's going to be.
okay, this is a challenge. Okay, that's what this is going to be. This is going to be a challenge. So I really, really loved what you said about it. You don't need to be rural. You don't need to be in the country. You don't have to be in a park. You don't have to be in a national forest. Like nature is, so wherever you are. So this works for everyone. But tomorrow morning, or maybe it's still light somewhere. It's not, I know it's still light somewhere, but it's not light here. And so
Right?
walk out your front door. And if you're in a building, walk out the building's front door and time yourself. Like make yourself be there. I don't know, whatever's comfortable for you. 5 minutes? Do I ask you for 5 minutes? Can I ask you for 5 minutes uh, to just be? No phones, no phones allowed, no
Mm,
iPads, no earbuds, none of that. No droids, no droids either. You can't cheat and just say, well, I have a droid. You can't do that. You just walk outside for 5 minutes and see what you see that's
mm,
living. I would ask for it not to be a human, but if that's what you key in on, that's fine. But I was more thinking about nature. So what do you see? And really, really notice it. Does it smell? Does it make you feel something to see it? How does it look like it would feel if you could touch it? You know, all of these things. What colors are it? What shades of those colors? It's not just green. It's not just green. It's more than green. It's not just a yellow or just a purple. What is it? Have you ever noticed it before? Do you have any
mm,
memory of ever seeing it anywhere else before? What does it mean to you to see that? Yeah, how does that make you feel inside? Um, hey, do you hope you'll see it again? And then, whatever your medium is, song, poem, essay, glossary, you can write a glossary, you can write a definition, um, drawing, collage, whatever your medium is, write, write or draw or dance or sing in response to something about
mm.
that.
Yeah. And share it,
Oh my goodness, that's exactly right. Yes.
right? And share it,
Yes. And share it. Oh my
which could
gosh.
which
You
could
should
be
put it
just
in the
telling somebody
comments.
about it. Yeah.
Put something
Oh,
in the comments. Like
yeah.
if you
Put it in the
like
comments.
yeah, do that. Like
Then
or
it enlarges it, right? That's a gift.
yeah.
It's a gift that you give.
A
Share it.
thousand percent. A thousand.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. This was perfect. This couldn't have been more perfect. Okay, Bill. This is all
Bill,
this
you're
is
such an
it's all the
inspiration.
goodness you just brought. I know. I just
Yeah.
love this. Okay. All right. Thank y'all all. Thank y'all all for being here tonight. And thank you for watching Great Goodness. Please like, comment, or subscribe. More importantly, spend 5 minutes paying attention, ask questions, make
Make
friends,
connections.
make
And
connections, and share.
share it,
Yes.
expand it. That's how we expand the light, right?
Yes. All right. Good night.
Thanks so
Bye.
much. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.